all the way from New York State with tons of miles and a list of things to get fixed. Lots of things to get fixed. Let's get started. So this is a 2002 Toyota Sequoia, and this is another video. We're going to push the Toyota agenda again. This thing doesn't look like it has tons of miles on it, and it doesn't drive like it has tons of miles on it, but it is this close to 400,000 miles on it. There's no GMC or a Dodge or a Chevy or a Ford or anything that's going to have this many miles on it and look this good and drive this good. It's just not going to happen. I know from experience. I've seen the American cars with that many miles on them, and they're usually a jalopy by then. Are they still running? Yeah. They're also a pile of dog poop. So let's go ahead and take a look around this thing, and then we're going to go over the list. There's quite a lot of things that we are going to do on this because the miles are so high. Here is the front of the Sequoia. You can see that it has lived a long life. Some of the paint on the bumper is coming off. It does have a New York tag on it. Otherwise, it looks pretty decent. Let's go around to this side. It looks like that there's been a paint job where they mismatched the colors, but that is incorrect. That's actually how it's supposed to be. It's a two-tone paint job, a more of a silver color on the body cladding, and a more of a champagne gold color on the body itself. The wheels have some of the coating here peeling off, but I mean, it's to be expected with this many miles. Looking down the body right here, if you could ask someone to guess, how many miles is on this Toyota? Most people would say 150,000, 160 maybe. Most people could never guess nearly 400. It actually has 390,000 miles. It looks like they've traveled a lot of miles all over the country as well. Here we are at the back. You can see some of the black paint is peeling off the trim there. Nothing too serious though. This is the iForce V8 four-wheel drive. It has the 4.7 liter V8 we'll look at here in a minute under the hood. And the rest of the body is equally just as nice. For this many miles, it actually looks really, really nice. Let's go ahead and hop under the hood. So here is our V8 4.7 liter iForce. I'm not sure the engine designation. It's like 1UZFE, I think that's what this is. You guys can correct me in the comments. I'm not for sure on that. But we do see that it had a timing belt at 258,000 miles. So it may actually be time to maybe talk to the customer about doing this again. To this sticker, it needs to be done, but possibly maybe it has been done. They just didn't put a sticker. Who knows? It does have some oil leaks, and what Danielson has found is that it is the valve covers. Excuse the factory Duralast jumper cables here. But you can see around the corners in the back, it's seeping pretty well. It's got some oil leaks going on there. But even with this many miles on it, the aluminum is somewhat shiny still. Everything looks decent. I've worked on a lot of Saturns and Pontiac Grand Dams and all kinds of chintzy, junky cars that are near 200,000 miles, and underneath the hood looks like it's been through Hurricane Katrina. This one does not look that way. One thing I really like about these early 2000s vehicles that have the grille that stoops down, it's kind of annoying because sometimes you hit your head on it, but the nice thing about them is you can see here, we have an oil cooler, a fan, our horns, our receiver dryer. Everything is so easy to get to. Boom, boom, boom. Everything is right there, ready to be taken care of if you need to. Here's our condenser if you need to replace that, our radiator. All very, very simple to service. So not a whole lot going on under the hood. Let's go ahead and jump into the interior and see what a 390,000 mile Toyota Sequoia looks like inside.
Okay, ladies and gents, there it is, 390,588. And in classic Toyota style, you'll see that they have lights that are illuminated just in accessory mode, just to let us know they actually work. But as we move up, look at this dash. 390,000 miles, and it's there's no cracks, nothing. It's clean, not even really dust. And it just drove in the shop today. So you're going to see it. This is clean. They do have an aftermarket stereo in, which does add a nice little feature to it. I do imagine in 2002, it probably wasn't that fancy. So this is a much better upgrade. Simple, classic Toyota HVAC systems there. As we move down, simple selector for our four-wheel drive and for mirrors and whatnot. But look, they just drove from New York. There's not even little crumbs in here. Take a peek at these seats. They are cloth, but I mean, other than a little bit of wear here on the armrests, which are still quite functional, everything is in great shape. The door cards in a great, amazing condition as well. They have that two-tone going on as well here, kind of a darker toffee color and a tan color as well. One nice feature is it does have the original Sequoia floor mats that look nice down there. We just talked about that in our Buy This, Not That Toyota video, and these still have them in it, even after 390,000 miles. As we move to our back seat, you'll see that it does have a 40-60 split, and again, the fabric is looking in great condition as well. Nothing really going on, maybe a little bit that could just use a little cleaning, but nothing crazy. And way in the back, there's a third row seat as well, so you can really pack in the people in this car. As we look up, that headliner is in really good shape. Maybe a little bit of a mark back there. But with this many miles, you couldn't imagine how many cars it would be that headliner would be resting on your head. Big section in there to hold CDs and sunglasses and sunglasses and sunglasses. We'll let her know. These are hidey holes, so let's check out. One sunglasses. Two sunglasses. Oh, is this another sunglasses one? There he goes. Yes, ladies and gents, 3 sunglasses holders in this car. How interesting. But all the latches still work. They are still all there. If we move back, I spoke too soon. There's a 4th sunglasses holder in there. And then I'm not exactly sure what you'd put in that one, but there it is. Maybe people in the back seat get to put something in there. It does look like they have a microphone there that they have added from that stereo system that would make it much nicer to talk on the phone, hands-free. And if we look, very functional. And this is the thing I love. This nice little addition built in, that is amazing. When you are tall and trying to drive, it somehow, that visor never covers what you need it to. We're back at the steering wheel, which means we're done. This interior does not, absolutely does not look like it has 390,000 miles on it. There's nothing going on. We've got, I guess, some, I don't know, grip spots for when you have to hit the horn. That's it. Just say there's the airbag, but we've got that lovely embossed Toyota symbol as well. No other crazy controls on here because it is Toyota and they try and keep it as simple as possible. So, this was a fun interior, especially with the 4 weird, odd sunglasses hidey holes. But let's get this up in the air. I'm curious to see what's going on underneath.
One thing we're going to see, since this car is from the Northeast, is surface rust on lots of things underneath. It's just a nature of the beast. If you live up there and you drive in the winters, it will happen to every car. So let's go ahead and take a look underneath. Here's our big, again, steel skid plate, not chintzy plastic. We can see over here already it's pretty heavy surface rust, which is to be expected. The brakes are about half gone in the front. CV boots are good. Everything's good there. The strut looks like it's got, maybe it had a spring installed on it. I'm not sure what's going on there. You can see the oil pan here. 390,000 miles and the oil pan is fairly dry, but we do see some seepage coming right here. So you can see the seepage there. That oil is coming from the valve cover gaskets. It's kind of dripping on the exhaust. It makes kind of a smell, and it also drips down here. And as we move further back, you can see there's a little bit of seepage on this clamp. It's also coming from up above. And you can see that heat shield has oil all over it, specifically coming from the valve cover gaskets. We'll check this wheel over here. Brake pads are half gone. CV boots are good. The struts are dry. They could still be bad, but at least they're not leaking. They could be failed internally still. Sway bar link is good. I do notice here the control arm bushings are torn. You can see that I can put my screwdriver all the way in through that crack. The bushings are just destroyed. And being that these are so rusty crusty, it probably just makes sense to just replace the entire control arm. So we'll definitely recommend that. Let's go check the other side to be sure. We can see right there, it's cracked clean through. The rubber is sheared. Here's our transmission. Everything's nice and dry. Here's our catalytic converter. One thing it has is a check engine light on, and it's because of O2 sensor readings are not good. We have had some issues with the check engine light being on, the customer's concerned about, and it's very likely it could be these oxygen sensors. We'll have to be very careful because you can see they're pretty rusty. But you can see with this welding here, there's been some exhaust sections already replaced on this vehicle. And same thing here, you can see it's starting to rust and corrode right here. Pieces are actually falling. It doesn't appear to be leaking yet, but it could at some point. We'll definitely let the customer know about that. Here's our drive shaft. U-joints are good. Exhaust is good there. Check our sway bar links for this rear axle. And here you can get a good view that everything is brown and rusty. Nothing is dangerous or rotted out where there is an issue with safety. It's just that it's got a surface rust all over it. Check these brakes. They're about half gone as well. Nothing leaking from the axle seals. It looks like they've had new shocks in the rear. Move over to the other side. Brakes are good. A new shock. I don't see anything leaking. Nothing's loose. Nothing's leaking from our differential here. Our third member is what that's called. We can tell that our brake lines have been replaced. Not recently, but at some point because they rusted out pretty bad, which is also very, very common in the Northeast. So we can see that the tread is actually getting close to being worn down to the wear bars on these tires. Let's check the date code. 50th week of 2019. So they are getting some age. They got some years on them. One thing the customers complained about is that at about 35 miles an hour there's a growling noise, and we did confirm that the front tires are the issue. The tread is getting low enough on these. That's where tires start making like a wah, 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 wah. They make a sound. So we're going to recommend that the customer get some new tires put on. That's something we don't do here, but it definitely needs to be done soon. Let's go ahead and get this thing on the ground. You can definitely tell when a vehicle is really heavy when you go to lower it and it lowers to the ground very, very fast. Unlike this Ferrari 550 behind me, which is fairly light, or small cars. It's like, come on, it's finally, come on, get this thing on the ground. But this thing went down quickly. It's very, very heavy. So here we are, a 2002 Toyota with nearly 400,000 miles on it. We're going to recommend the timing belt service if it hasn't already been done. We got valve cover gaskets, lower control arms, possibly oxygen sensors. We're going to do a brake fluid flush. They are complaining about some spongy brakes. It may be there's some air in the lines from the previous brake line repairs. Also the front struts, they're a little spongy. When you go to hit the brakes, it dips and it kind of lurches. It's kind of a lot of bouncing going on, so very likely could use some struts. The rear hatch needs to be lubed. Sometimes it'll catch, especially in colder weather. It won't release the latch. It's very common actually on the Sequoias because rain gets down into the bottom of the tailgate and it rusts out the latch. But really, these aren't a whole lot of things that's really too bad for this many miles. There are many vehicles of other makes and models, especially domestic cars, that I would have worked on that has this many miles on it that I very likely would have refused to even work on it because it would be a major restoration project to even get everything lined back out again. When I took this one on, I knew it's a Toyota. It probably won't be that way, and I was right. The list that I'm looking at right here is something I could expect to see on a vehicle with 140,000 miles on it. Not 400 almost. So that's a testament to Toyota reliability right there. We definitely need to take care of the oxygen sensor issues with the check engine light, because in the state of New York, when they do inspections, it's one of the states that I know of, at least they did years ago, they can legally not allow you to have your vehicle back until you get these things fixed. If there's a check engine light on, if there's brake issues that could hurt someone, it actually can keep your vehicle. Isn't that strange, guys? Most of us don't worry about that in the other states, but definitely in New York, they have legal authority to do that. So we don't do paint jobs or anything in the shop. It really could use some cosmetics up front. But this is strange to have this many miles, and I recommend to do all these repairs. It's possible that this could go to 450 or possibly 500,000 miles or more. It's very plausible. So again, when you go looking at the lot, you're looking to buy a car and you see a GMC Acadia or you see a Dodge, this or that or whatever, and then you see a Toyota. The Toyota is going to cost a lot more to buy. So I can get the Acadia for 20 grand. They're wanting 38 for that Toyota. I just can't see paying that. I can, because of this. Over time, you will get more than your money's back in reliability and longevity. So I really recommend people, when they email me what kind of car I should buy, I say you really need to figure out your budget and try to find a way to afford the Toyota, because it really, really is worth it. So we'll get the estimate together and get with the customer and see what they would like to do on this. Then we'll get the parts ordered, we'll get these things solved, and back to New York it will go. Starting to see a lot of vehicles from out of state. Really enjoy that, really enjoy keeping everyone's car on the road, not just in Kansas. If you're curious what kind of tools we're going to use to work on this car, check my Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and we really appreciate it. All the tools that we use in the shop are listed for sale there. And make sure to hit the subscribe button, because there's Ferrari videos coming. There's all kinds of cars in the shop. Stuff scheduled all week long. More videos for you guys. Thanks for watching.